So hey, hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about Lizzy Borden, Master of Disguise, and of course all the other albums. And I don't have any long corny story of how I got into Lizzy Borden. I saw the video for Me Against the World in 1987 and Headbangers Ball, and I thought this is awesome. And I wanted to buy the tape off one of my friends who had it, and I guess wasn't wild about it too much. Wanted to sell it to me for $10, tape cassette. So I was like, okay, sure. So anyways, I got it and I listened to it. The vocals on this tape album is just amazing. People call it glam. It's glam. It's very glammy to me. I mean, look at it. The video for Me Against the World, I saw it and I just thought there was just something really strange and weird about it. I'd never seen anything really like it before, with that kind of look, just that kind of like weird look. I mean, the other guys looked alright, but Lizzy Borden looked like really different. It was just like really strange, and his voice was so unique, and he sang with such, such a high range, his vocal range, and it was just how his voice was high. That was just incredible. So I thought that was just awesome, everything about it. And of course, even the album cover was really unique with, his head through the TV, and just, I just thought it was like really, interesting and awesome. And of course, the songs off of Visualize are incredible. They're awesome songs. You're straight up, glam kind of type of metal. I just thought it was amazing. His high range voice. It's kind of hard to trying to look for the right words for it. Some people don't like that kind of vocal style and singing. I do. I thought it was amazing. So anyways, just the lyrics on there were awesome, and I thought just the music was cool and heavy. Songs weren't too fast. It wasn't like thrash, but then it wasn't like, it was just straight up glam metal. I guess that's the best way to describe it. The songs are awesome. I loved it. And of course, was expecting a second video off of Visualize. He didn't do that. He only did one for Me Against the World. So like a lot of bands at the time released an album in '87, they took a year off and toured in 1988, and they didn't release anything in '88. Most of them didn't. And 1989 was the next year to release an album. So by September, I think it was September, October of 1989, he released Master of Disguise. And I thought Master of Disguise was really cool and neat. But I'm going to go back a touch here, because once I got that album, I decided to buy another Lizzy Borden album because I wanted to check out more of his stuff. So I wanted to get the one that was previous to Visualize. So I bought this in December of 1989. I'll go back to Master of Disguise after. But I bought this one, and I just thought it was awesome. It's that guitaring, once again, glam look, awesome album cover. Here it is right there. And I was like, yeah, this one looks really cool and neat right here. And of course, the beginning of it, just those guitar between guitars, and then that first scream. I'll try to edit some of the stuff in here and there. I shouldn't get a copyright claim for some of this stuff. I don't think. I might, depending on how Metal Blades Records deals with their stuff. First song, Generation Aliens. Kind of about mind manipulation and trying to take control. Kind of what's going on today and what's happening today. And we'll get in. I want to elaborate and get into that too much. I digress. But the lyrics to that song were just like really cool and neat. I wrote one of the other words down. I forgot. And one of the other words was Perzutax. Perzutax on the rocks, confess your treachery. So I was like, man, there's some really cool lyrics. And it's just one of those cool things about metal. Every once in a while, you get those dictionary words where you're like, I gotta look that up. And find out what the heck that word means. It's a really cool, neat word. An advanced word, and not really use the word in the English dictionary. So I figured I'd look it up. And I did, and I forgot. It was years ago, and I just think I couldn't find it. But anyways, doing my research for this album, because I was like, oh yeah, you got to get into the lyrics with Generation Class and stuff like that. Generation Aliens, I said Clash, whoops. That's accepted. I wanted to get into that song and really get into, deep and just describe and hopefully find out what those words mean, just to let a couple of you people know. Not that any of you people can't use Google yourself. But, anyways, so I Googled the words, and then of course I get this picture. When I Googled the word for, in the selection on the Google for all, it had just a bunch of like articles on this album. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, they're going off of that one word, and this album is popping up. I mean, is Perzutax is this the only album that contains that word, Perzutax? And what that cover. So I clicked off and I was like, gee, I went through like 3 or 4 pages and I put up a little screenshot right there because that's what I got. Those were the results I got. And then after, I'm like, oh yeah, let me try images. Let me see, maybe Perzutax means something. So I did that. I clicked on images and got this. Those are the images that came up, and it was a really short page. It had like, maybe a little more than 20 something images, and then that was it. So anyways, there was just really nothing else you could find. Sometimes online or on Google, or when you look stuff up, sometimes you can't find results. Militants are in control. So I'm not sure specifically what that word means. It had some meaning, but then I was just like, what the heck? I'll put the caption right at the bottom because I'm not sure, and I'll put that word up here in this cool text I found. So American Metal is a really cool song. It has that kind of like anthem. And of course, with the whole like British invasion thing like that, there was a lot of like metal bands in America and stuff like that. And there's a lot of cool ones. There's a lot of cool ones elsewhere, a lot of cool ones. Alright, so back to Master of Disguise back in 1989. When Master of Disguise came out, it was, of course, like less glammy. Remember, I mentioned before in a couple of my videos, once 89 hit, a lot of bands that wore glam were kind of like, de-glamming, not wearing much makeup. We're doing the black leather thing and just, dressing more simple and doing things more simplistic, if you will. Dressing more simplistic and simple. And or, of course, wearing leather. I don't know if wearing leather is more simplistic or what the hell ever, but anyways, so they started going with that theme, and it was like less glam. So Colony is the music that matters. And I bought Master of Disguise when it came out. Lizzy Borden was on Headbangers Ball. And it was one of the other things I loved about Headbangers Ball, because you weren't going to see Lizzy Borden anywhere else talking, so I got to hear his voice. He had a very good average deep voice, kind of. And he's talking about this record of his dreams, and it has that kind of a concept album, of course, I guess. But it has that theatrical, music in the beginning before Master of Disguise. And just the song is really orchestrated really well. There's a horn section on We've Got the Power, which I thought was great. There's all these little TV channel changing things that are in between the songs, some phone stuff. So I just thought it was kind of neat. It was some kind of concept album, a record of Lizzy's dreams. I'm not sure specifically what the thing was, but of course with Master of Disguise, or his main point was, but Master of Disguise is just another really cool, awesome song. And I'll put 90s come, and then it's like, what the heck? A lot of these other bands, artists and stuff just disappeared. So finally year 2000 comes. So finally once year 2000 comes, and I'm looking online, I'm looking at CD Universe, where I bought a lot of my CDs from between the late 90s and early 2000s. CD Universe, there's a little shout out to CD Universe, a little publicity for them, since there's so many people that watch my channel. CD Universe had the stuff of what's coming up on new releases and stuff like that, and I saw Lizzy Borden's Deal with the Devil. And I knew it was Lizzy Borden because of the logo and stuff like that, so I figured, yeah, that's the album cover. That's kind of stupid. I figured I'd get it. Really cool songs. I got the CD Deal with the Devil in probably like September or August of 2000. I can't remember. It's been a good 21 years right now. But the CD itself, the cover looks stupid. It had that stupid picture on it. it was just one solid color, that light brown or gray. And I really didn't like it. Didn't like the album cover. This album cover looks stupid, but I figured I'd check it out, of course. The songs Deal with the Devil and Sandra Barr, and then there's just several other, There Will Be Blood Tonight. There's several other good songs out there where, hey, you know what, this leaves off right where Master of Puppets, see, I keep screwing things up. I'll leave that in there, because that's funny. It, right from where Master of Disguise left off, he could have released this album in 94, 95. Or whatever, in like 93 to 94. He could have released this album. I don't know what the deal was, a hiatus. But I thought Deal with the Devil was cool. So once again, we waited another like 7 full years at Appointment with Death. There's some songs off here I think are kind of corny. And I really like Abnormal. Abnormal is a cool one. There's some really cool lyrics on there. Snakes in the Mirror. So I think that one's really cool. I'm trying to think of some lyrics now. I want to sing it and look stupid. But I think that one was pretty good. Not as good as the first one. And of course he has a newer one out now, My Midnight Things, which I've listened to a little bit of, and I ain't really that wild about it. Not too much. Give 'Em the Axe, Menace to Society, Visualize, Master of Disguise. They're all incredible albums. Check them out. Lizzy Borden's, once again, another one of those underrated bands that doesn't get the attention that they deserve and need. And they're really awesome. And of course, once again, thanks to stuff like YouTube, more people are checking them out and discovering new, cool, great music. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.